Hello again. And today me and Susan are heading back to the mid-60s, 1965 to be precise, to discuss a comedy movie. I don't know what Susan was doing there, but oh, she's milking a cow. No, she's she's driving. Uh, we see in this movie Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis starring in their second movie together after Some Like It Hot.
Hmm.
But in this movie, they're on opposing sides. There's the Great Leslie and Professor Fate in The Great Race, also co-starring a wonderful Natalie Wood. Um, it's a race from New York to Paris, and that's the main story of that's the main plot. And there's a hell of a lot what happens in between New York and Paris.
Hmm.
We'll go over to Susan. What's your thoughts on The Great Race?
So I was like, New York to Paris, what is this going to be? A race on a ship? And no, they end up going backwards, back. They go west,
Yeah,
up over the Bering Sea, and then sort of drift into Asia, and then go down in through Asia and all the way across Asia and Europe and stuff like that on an in these old motor cars, and they keep messing with each other's supply of gas, and their cars are constantly in trouble. And one time a polar bear went in and lived in one of their cars, and yeah, so they were trying to win this race kind of at any cost. And it was amazing. It was really fun. It was definitely Snidely Whiplash versus
well, well, I get the feeling. I mean, I might be wrong, but I get the feeling that Wacky Races was based on this with
yeah,
Dick Dastardly, Jack Lemmon,
yeah,
Muttley, Peter Falk,
uh-huh,
um, Peter Perfect, Tony Curtis,
uh-huh,
Penelope Pitstop, Natalie Wood, all in
uh-huh,
pink. Or you get the feel that it's sort of
yeah,
maybe where Wacky Races got their.
yes. That is it. That is exactly it.
Wrong, but
Yeah, and Blake Edwards made it, and Blake Edwards is a great filmmaker. Um, Married to Julie Andrews.
Mm.
This one, oh, he was he was telling lots of stories with lots of humor. Um, and there was it was quite long. There was an overture, an hour and a half, an intermission, another hour, 20 minutes, and
Exit you.
then an exit, and you're just like, oh my.
They don't make them like that. No.
They don't. You don't even get an intermission in Lord of the Rings, but like that, it was just amazingly long. So yeah, it was a great, well told tale like that. Yeah. So and the Dr. Fate was very much like mustache twisty, kind of over the top kind of bad guy, and it was just fun. And every time he went and parked his his ride in his beautiful garage. This is where it came from, right? This is where the garage exploded,
Yeah.
and the garage had a mansard roof, gorgeous, shallow top, you
If,
know,
if people
top
haven't,
slopes, and then
yeah,
these curly, sort of rounded.
if people haven't seen any of our cast before, I would just like to say Susan has got an obsession with certain types of roofs.
Mm-hmm.
haven't you?
One type in particular,
Yeah.
mostly.
Mm.
They are a truly magnificent architectural style and glorious. And you know, they're sort of a recent discovery, so I'm still well and truly partial to their appearance in front of my eyes in movies, TV,
So when you saw it, I bet you went, "Oh,
and then the roof flies off, and the gabled the gabled dormer windows and steep second slope were
mm,
separated from the lovely shallow top slope. I was just like, oh, but it happened twice like that. So what are you gonna do?
with the cannon."
Oh, oh, with the cannon is was a cool addition. They had so many cool like gadgets on their vehicle. They had the wheels that lifted it up. They had, and that one I think was to avoid snowdrifts.
uh, I think that you had the heater on the front to melt the
Oh,
ice
the
and snow.
heater on the front was for the to melt the snowdrifts. And oh,
It, it is as you say, it's a long film. It it's maybe 2 hours and 50 minutes. Um, but it doesn't seem that long because there's comedy in
so
every sort of
fun.
scene. From the beginning where Professor Fate and the Great Leslie, well, the Great Leslie is always doing these stunts, and Professor Fate's always competing with him to beat him at these stunts. He always fails, of course. Um, always ended up in the mud on the pig farm. Um, but then this race is announced, and he swears blind that he's going to beat the Great Leslie in this race. And then, of course, they're the only two left in the race because Professor Fate and Max has cheated and fixed
Destroyed all their vehicles,
all the cars. Yeah.
and they destroyed them before they even left New York and New York State, really. Even
So there was only two competitors, well, three competitors, because you see, we've got to include Natalie Wood's character as
the reporter.
the the, the suffragette reporter.
Yes, intrepid,
Right. Uh,
and she was she asked to be part of the team, and none of the fellows wanted her to be part of the team, so
she entered herself.
she had to do something herself.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a fun movie. I mean, you get one of the best saloon bar fights in movie history, and then you get one of the best food fights scenes in history,
Oh my
movie history.
gosh. Yep.
Um, I'd love to do that. I would just really love to have a food fight like that. That was just an amazing scene. I think it went on for a good 5 to 10 minutes. It
Yes.
was, and to keep Tony Curtis white suit because he was all in white clean until the sort of at the end of the fight where he gets a pie in the face. That must have really took some
and
doing.
he was and the amazing thing was that that the whole thing was begun by the collapse of this one cake that was obviously
For the coronation.
for the coronation of the
Which that story, like where he, you get the coronation of the new king, also his double. Was it the prisoner of Zenda?
uh-huh
That's where that story comes from.
yeah
Also used in old Doctor Who story, The Androids of Tara.
uh-huh
So, where doppelganger swaps over on the coronation. But great pie fight.
Baron Rolf von Stupp.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was, as I say, the Wild West in the
the, sh-
saloon.
the sheriff of Baracho.
Yeah,
Baracho is the name of the town.
right.
And for those of us who speak Spanish, Baracho means drunk.
Ah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the whole city was called drunk. Yep.
Play on my yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, it's just you have to take the key to the city, and and we'll string you high.
and
And then with they're all
it was Uncle Jesse from
Hazard.
Dukes of Hazzard, yeah.
Yeah, it was. There was a few. I say you got Peter Falk in here as Max, as Professor Fate's little sidekick. He was good. Who else have we got here?
Hal Smith is the mayor.
Yeah. Um,
And George McCready, who is who's been in everything.
yeah. Keenan Wynn,
Keenan Wynn, yeah.
good character actor. But
Larry Storch as
Texas,
Texas Jack.
yeah, he started the fight.
He was the reason for the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was when they get lost in the snow.
Yeah.
they end up on a floating iceberg. Um,
Yeah.
one of the things what always makes me laugh though is when Max just snaps Professor's mustache off. Oh, look at that! Oh,
And George McCready's been in things like Tora 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 and what's the other one he was in? He was in gosh, I can't remember. He was in The Great Race.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is the one what we're talking about now.
Right. Or no, I mean never,
There's been in quite a few.
can't remember which one it was.
Paths of Glory, The Golden Blade.
7 Days in May. There it is. Yeah, that's the one that I've seen. Anyway, he's got such a like feckless smile. He's a bit like Peter Davison in that he's really got that sort of open face. Anyway, and then Natalie Wood, playing someone who's not going to put up with anybody's guff. That was fun to see her, doing that. And I love Peter Falk in Columbo. I've seen quite a few episodes, or what are called episodes, but Actually, since each of them are about an hour and a half long, they're basically movies.
TV movies, yeah.
Yeah, they are. Um, so I really like when he does that. But
Mhm.
this one was unrecognizable. And so was Jack Lemmon. I mean, for real. Like I you can see Tony Curtis. Yes, it's Tony Curtis.
And every time he smiles, he had that little ding on his
Yeah.
teeth.
Or in his eyes or
Mm.
whatever. And but Jack Lemmon, you could it isn't like the odd couple. It's not something that you see him with his with he's unrecognizable, but he's so funny. So it's him. And when he speaks, you pick up on that. And it's so great. Oh my gosh, it's such a great story anyway.
And to play two parts as well.
Yeah.
Play the Professor Fate, the villain, and also the drunken prince. Uh,
Uh-huh.
more brandy, more brandy. Totally different characters.
Uh-huh.
He was. I mean, Jack Lemmon was one of my favorite American actors. He he could play comedy just like that, but he also could do really serious roles.
Hmm.
Um, I always remember the China Syndrome, if you remember that one.
I
Ooh,
don't.
that was about 1979. That was a very um, no nonsense movie with Michael Douglas, and it was all about nuclear um, threat, shall we say? Um, but he could switch from serious to comedy just like that. Some actors can't, but I don't think the actors these days are from the same school as these actors back then.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
know.
yeah, we don't have the same league of actors like we did have.
Yeah. He was in Airport 77. So
Yeah, yeah.
that was one of those fun is and he
And
he and he was in the Odd Couple, and then he was also in the Grumpy Old Men, and then he
yeah,
was also in yeah, so he was just in so many things. And he was really like I mean, the fact that he was so good at just kind of playing melodramatic
yeah.
baddie next to Tony Curtis's sort of white wearing white, uh,
Perfect.
perfect car,
Yeah,
perfect clothes, and he was, obviously running with that inferiority complex next to him.
yeah.
That was so fun. It was just yeah,
He wanted to win all the time. He wanted Leslie to lose. He wanted to win, and he
yeah.
did win. In the end, he won.
In the end, he was the winner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then he wouldn't accept it.
yeah. Funny.
Yeah,
So the polar bear in the car, that that scene, I just especially since they keep going back and trying to get their car back,
yeah.
and then as they are unable to relieve the car of the polar bear, they
That
end up jumping in through the roof of the other vehicle.
spend the night under a blanket with all the.
That's the night under a blanket. Yeah. and the logic that you could see that Natalie was trying to say, oh, they say that if two people are freezing, that it's better that one person in a sleeping bag, or
Yeah.
two people in two bags is better than one, or is not as good as two people in one blanket. So yeah, and so then
More with the heat.
yeah, but also romance. That's what it was, and then all of a sudden there's four, and and you know it's
I
just
mean,
funny.
yeah, but I mean that with the iceberg, it was getting smaller and smaller as they went through on the
Oh my
ocean.
gosh, yeah.
It's just took the two cars and them stood on the block of ice.
And
Um,
like their feet are getting wet, yeah.
yeah, we're underwater. Well, then you get the scene with Natalie Wood where Tony Curtis totally gets the wrong signals,
Uh-huh.
or does he?
Uh-huh.
When he goes to kiss her,
Uh-huh.
because I think she loved him from a while back in the movie,
Uh-huh.
but she won't admit it.
No.
Slap,
Yep.
and he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah. That's and then they were when they were towing the car with the horse.
Because yeah, because they have no gas.
Because those guys had burned up all the gas in the little village before.
Yeah, it is. It's a great movie. It's like a cartoon come to life.
Yes,
Especially when everything goes wrong for Professor Fate. It's just a cartoon,
he is.
with his stunts and all like that, and going wrong, and blowing up the Eiffel Tower. Yeah. It's they don't make movies like this now. I wish they would. A good comedy.
They've got and that was during the time with the mad, 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 mad world.
Yeah, that period.
The
Mid-60s.
Magnificent Man,
Yeah,
the Great Race,
yeah.
the
Monte Carlo bust.
Monte Carlo or Buzz. Oh my gosh, like when we reviewed a few of
Yeah,
these 40s, 50s movies, 60s movies that are
yeah,
just so funny.
yeah.
Oh, and the British ones, there's uh Crowns and Coronets,
Oh, Kind Hearts and Coronets. Yeah,
Kind Hearts and Coronets, and
good movie that.
yeah, I mean there were so many very sort of particular kind of comedy movies
Mm,
that were amazing, and they had
mm.
like epic scenery because they were all shot kind of like on location, going everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what the comedy movies of today is lacking is good writing, direction, like from Blake Edwards,
Like,
and the league of actors we had back then.
yeah,
I just don't think we've got that talent now.
and Julie Andrews in her two books, one's called Work and then the other one's called Homework.
Mm,
Work was all about her getting to the point where she was getting the second callbacks for Maria in Sound of Music and Mary Poppins, and also and getting together with Blake Edwards, and then on the other side of that was Homework, was all about her years with Blake Edwards, and up till right now, what she's doing right now, which was, you know, she was in, she had had all that work done on her voice, and then she was telling what a great humorist he was to have around. You know, he was fun, he was uh super loving to her, and super but he was really funny at home, you know.
She must miss him then.
She
Um,
must. I mean,
yeah,
that was really noticeable in her second book. And I just don't, I've never done much reading up on Blake, but I do love Julie Andrews like
yeah.
forever. So I
We-
just, because of that, I'll know about Blake Edwards a lot through the process. But
I mean, I'm just looking at his film. The films he did. As you
all
said,
those Pink Panther
I
ones,
think the Pink Panther ones he's most famous for, but also Breakfast at Tiffany's.
yeah,
Um, where are we? What's that one? Operation Petticoat.
yeah,
There's quite a lot of serious movies. The Tamarind Seed,
uh-huh,
Victor Victoria.
yep,
It's SOB. Well, we
yeah,
we know he persuaded Julie to do something in that one.
yeah,
But yeah, his list of movies just goes on and on. He did TV as well. So yeah, he was
yeah.
one
In
of the
the '80s, he did Blind Date, and he
yeah,
did City Heat, and The Man Who Loved Women.
yeah. It's
And he did 10 with uh
Bo Derek,
Bo Derek and
Dudley Moore. Yeah,
Dudley Moore.
yeah. So he's he was a well respected director
Yeah,
and producer, and this I think is one of his best efforts. The Great
yeah.
Race.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Got everything. It's got everything in there what you'd want for a fun comedy.
So
So, anything else you want to say about? I was just going to say the Great Race. Well, that I've got the German version here, but it's
Das Gross Rennen.
yeah. Because
Okay.
when I bought this, the film was not released on DVD in the UK.
Oh, okay.
I found this online from Germany,
Oh,
and the picture quality is amazing.
yeah. Sehr gut, meine Freunde.
Yeah.
Ja. So
What will you give it? What
I
will you
will
give
give
this?
this 10 exploding garages out of 10. I just think really it's amazing. I think it's really, really funny, and I think it's really, I mean, we watched a couple of movies, and I started putting stuff from this and that because it gets lodged up in here in a really good way. It's yeah, and we've done a lot of these movies that are in that
Genre,
genre. Around the World in 80 Days,
yeah,
Magnificent Men and Their Flying Machine.
yeah,
We have really done a lot of these movies, and I love them all.
yeah.
So
There's always something new.
yeah,
E-
so
Yeah.
good.
So, well, because
10.
of me personally, because I like Jack Lemmon and his villain in this is just amazing. But his way of competing always with Tony Curtis in this is just it's one of the best things on screen.
Hmm.
So for that reason alone, this is going to get 10 pies in the face out of 10.
Yeah,
It's a great movie. Okay, it was made in the 60s. I know the youngsters of today don't like watching anything older than 5 years, but hey, you can't knock the classics.
I know, right?
This is a classic, just like the cars they drive. So, yep, that's our little review of The Great Race. Um, if you've seen it, leave a message below on our social media platform. We're all across
So
the
yeah,
social
one of
media.
the cars was a Rolls Royce, and one of the cars was a self creation. Let's say Dr. Fate had his own creative style car, but I think it was the body was Model A or Model T or something from Ford. I
Could
don't
be.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
It's
the other one, the one that Tony Curtis drove, was definitely a Rolls Royce, I think. So,
I don't know because I know he wanted America to be the first one to win the race in an American car.
oh,
So
okay.
Rolls Royce is British.
Yeah, that would be funny though. Let me
Yeah,
see.
yeah. As I say, as I was saying though, we're on all forms of social media. So if you want to get in touch, leave a message below on wherever you found this video. Um, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please make sure you have the bell notification button on, and then you get notified every time we put a video up. And if you want to join us, all we ask of you to be is 18 plus, because there's some things we discuss are 18 rated, of course. Um, and I think that's it, Susan. That's
Yep,
our little review of the Great Race.
yep,
So we're going to drive off into the sunset now, I suppose, like Thelma and Louise
yes.
over the cliff for next week. So until
I
next
got your
time,
back, Lee.
you've got my back,
Hmm.
or you're going to get me back.
Yeah, both.
Come on, then, put them up. See you next week then. Bye bye.